out there? Troy to the Max Extreme here.
Dinosaur Neil.
And Ghost Hunter Dave.
Together, we fire up that bat signal once again as Imperius Rex.
God, you seem very well rested on your return.
That's right.
Yeah, all right.
This is all we got, so let's make it work.
So,
we're diving back into Batyear, baby.
You want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts.
Smash!
Right shot. Now you want to get nuts? Come on. Let's get nuts.
People have been hounding us. Oh. Hey, what's up with the no Batman talk? Mm-hmm. Where's the Batman talk I've been growing so much fond of?
Right, we've been getting accosted in the streets.
Yeah. That's right. I was pushed over by an old woman.
Right. Yeah. And your cat calling.
I was, you dirty rude. Dog. Yeah. But anyway, so we're answering the call.
That's right.
Bat phone's over there.
All the way over there.
I answered it earlier. I answered that call earlier.
You took the message?
Yeah, I did.
Good.
Let me just try. Oh! Wow. And we're doing Hush tonight.
Now you want to get nuts?
Whoop, cut that. Actually, I forgot we already put in the Batyear intro. But since I have you here real quick, and on the topic of editing, just wanted to give a quick shout out and welcome to a new member of the Rex team. Patron supporter, Discord member, and most recently co-producer of the show. Let's welcome aboard Throat Milk. Throat has a background in media and was kind enough to offer to lend a hand with some editing duties with the stipulation that he must be compensated exclusively in comics, which worked out amazingly because I've got a lot of comics to give. So welcome aboard, Throat, as the 4th or possibly 5th mysterious member of the Imperius Rex team, and let's get back to the show. So, Hush.
Hush. Hush.
What is there to say about Hush? Maybe that it was like one of the top-selling comics of all time. Mm-hmm. I don't know if any of that's true. It was pretty popular.
It was pretty popular.
You team up Jeph Loeb, who is a cash cow for these types of things, and then you put him up alongside Jim Lee. Rising star Jim Lee.
Yeah, newbie on the scene.
And you get him behind the wheel of the Batmobile, and you just watch the money spit out of that tailpipe.
Wow, that's right. It was a match made in early 2000s heaven.
Yeah.
It sure was.
2002 to 2003, I believe. And it was published on Batman 608 through 619. Wasn't its own thing. It was the main Batman.
Yeah, this is in continuity.
Yeah. And apparently that was like a sticking point for Jim Lee. He's like, I don't just want to do a Batman book. I want to do the Batman book. You're like, Jim, what the fuck's it matter?
Yeah. Aren't you already a millionaire?
Yeah. And I would even argue, man, some of that fucking shit that's not part of the main titles is way better. Just do your own shit, Jim.
Yeah. But it essentially did become its own thing. Because, like, people aren't like, hey, did you read Batman 609 through whatever? They're like, have you read Hush yet?
Yeah.
And I think everyone has read Hush. So we're not going to, like, just belabor the story or anything like that. It's a classic Jeph Loeb whodunit with a cavalcade of characters that all make an appearance, and then by the end, everything wraps up kind of, and you're left like, did that make any sense? Did I even enjoy this? Classic Loeb. But boy, was it taking the market by storm, and if I can be so bold, Batman has never looked better.
Yeah. Fuck! Looks real good.
Doesn't it ever?
I mean, Jim Lee... So, like, Jim Lee came out in the 90s. Super hot shit artist, right? Does his own thing.
Yeah.
At Image, more hot shitting coming out of him.
Yep. Just spewing it.
Oh, man.
This might be some of my favorite... I mean, he did a lot of X-Men stuff. That's great. But, like, this is some really good Batman stuff right here.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I don't quite like is his Killer Croc.
Thank you.
Yeah. To be fair, the Killer Croc was on some kind of
Croc.
mutant. Like,
mutagen.
Yeah, he was like, let's make him extra Croc. And then they pump extra Croc into him.
He's even wearing Crocs.
Yeah,
if you look close.
He's like, oops, all Croc. Like, he's pretty crocky.
Oh my god. I'd say he's too crocky.
Yeah.
To the point where he also isn't very crocky looking. He just looks like a lump of shit.
He does. He's a lump of green shit.
I was sitting there like, where is fucking eyes? Like,
Yeah.
is that his nostril? Is that an eye? Like,
Yeah.
his mouth is sometimes huge
Like a
and
snout?
then sometimes like a little pig snout.
Yeah.
I fucking hate the croc look of this.
Get him out of here.
And I think
redrawn all.
Yeah, could you?
Yeah.
What else you doing?
Yeah.
Is this like the first fully like bestial croc too?
Yeah.
Before he was kind of like the animated series, just a crocodile man.
Yeah.
A reptilian man.
Yes. This was when this came out like fucking 20 years ago, like I think everybody said the same thing, like, whoa, isn't that wild? Does everyone like it? And everyone's like, not really.
No.
It's too much.
Yeah.
Or maybe in hindsight, they're like, yeah, that was too much. At the time, it was probably like, oh, that's extreme.
It's fucking 2002. I'm edgy, bitch.
Yeah. Jeph Loeb does introduce some back continuity that was not previously there with a Tommy Elliott, a childhood friend of Bruce's, up until Bruce's parents' murder, and then he goes into a bit of seclusion, never seeing Tommy again. Shit. But Tommy grows into Thomas, evolves into Thomas.
Oh shit!
And
His
becomes
final form.
becomes a bit of a scientist himself. Becomes like one of Gotham's highest succeeding brain surgeons. Or whatever. And through happenstance, Bruce needs a brain surgery because old Bats took a tumble off a building and cracked his skull off the ground or whatever happened.
Dummy.
Yeah, seems like one of those things that he's probably avoided like a million times by now. But someone cut his rope just right this one time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he crashed down that building like Tobey Maguire did in Spider-Man 2. So he needs his brain box worked on. And it seems to happen in no time. Tommy fixes him right up.
Yeah. And then he just goes out like next day.
Yeah, and then he's out
You're all banged
smooching
up.
Catwoman.
Yeah.
Not that long afterwards.
I'm just gonna fight Superman with this brain injury.
He knows when to stop.
Yeah.
It's not like he's mind controlled or anything.
I'm gonna bring my friend Tommy just in case I need extra brain surgery.
Tommy, I need something pushed back in.
Hold this while I punch Superman.
So this, it has all the hits.
Yeah.
This, like most Jeph Loeb stuff, especially the longer he went, it just becomes a greatest hits collection. In this one, it has it all. Batman smooching Catwoman, Superman throwing down with Batman, got that kryptonite ring, and then, as we said, just a cast of characters. Every villain you can shake a stick at makes an appearance.
Yeah,
that's true.
Note on that, you can tell what he did with like your main villain is like he did it just like that so he could have some contrived way to get all of these extra villains in here that do fucking nothing essentially.
The farther you get into the story, I'm like, wait a minute. How did anybody convince anybody to kind of work together in this when collectively they're not doing anything?
Yeah.
He's mopping the floor with all of them anyways.
Yeah.
But still being tricked, like, I don't know. It's
It's a great new reader book if you're just like, I want a Batman story that has like all the things I know about Batman.
Yeah.
So, like, it's a great introductory comic, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
Looks great. As I've gotten older, I find myself appreciating a drawing style of, like, a Tim Sale more than I do a Jim Lee at this point. Like, reading Jeph Loeb's other stuff, like Long Halloween and
Dark Victory.
Dark Victory just recently. It's like, my God, I love like the dark stylistic take so much more than the really over-etched Jim Lee pencils and everything.
Yeah.
And like, it's heads and tails easier to draw that Tim Sale look than to render everything that Jim does. But it's just like, it's just become a personal preference where it's like, I like it a little cartoonier more than super gritty and realistic.
Yeah, I'm the exact same way. I loved Jim Lee's stuff growing up, and even I still like it now. But my tastes have evolved to like having a different,
I want a little style on it.
I would say that would be my answer too. There's one badass splash page where he's got a bunch of Batmobiles in the Batcave though.
Yeah.
Which might have made me orgasm because it was incredible.
Yeah. That Batcave, I do like that Batcave splash though. That's pretty impressive.
But ultimately, as this unfolds, we get a lot of red herrings along the way. We get a shocking appearance from the long deceased Jason Todd, which we also find out was not really Jason Todd, only to find out later on that it was really Jason Todd, as they retcon and then retcon the retcon years later.
How? He was fucking Clayface!
Well, I don't know if you've done your homework, but
No!
It was Jason Todd, and then they switched out, and it was Clayface.
God!
For real? Is
that
the retcon of the retcon?
Yeah.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, they said that it was Jason Todd now, which is very dumb.
Come on.
Like, just one or the other.
Why did you have to throw that in there?
Right. It's like
how contrived do you need to make this already contrived ending?
I know. Yeah, so by the end of this, it's not Jason Todd. It was just like a big gotcha, like, oh fuck, Jason Todd's back. Oh, not really. He's dead.
What if Jason Todd learned how to melt into sand?
That's true. Did we think of that?
We don't know what the Lazarus Pit does all the time, I guess. I don't know. Maybe you can melt into sand.
At what point was that a retcon where he's like, oh, we just Lazarus pitted him? Because didn't he just become alive through a universe-shattering punch?
I think so. I think it was that, and then I think they also were like, actually, Lazarus Pit would have been much easier.
Makes way more sense. We already have it in continuity and have had for decades.
Yeah. So this book, on its own, it's fine. But then if you like take some of the themes that it presents further, it gets so convoluted and up its own ass. But I do like the idea that, hey, Jason Todd makes an appearance, even though it's not, but then it kind of is. Jury's still out.
Oh, man.
But it did prompt me to go and read some Jason Todd stuff. So I read A Death in the Family, which is a lot of fun. The most fun you can have with a child's life in your hands. And then I read Under the Red Hood, which I've always been curious about.
What year did that come out? Because I thought that would have come out before this, but apparently not.
No, it's after, but that was
It had to
really
be
good.
only like a handful of years after, like 3 years?
Probably 2 or 3, I would think.
Wow.
I think they include the scenes from Hush in there, like in the back material.
How do you like that?
Wow. I would have figured if that was the case, then he'd know, oh, that's just Jason Todd under the Red Hood. Because he looks just like him now. How I saw him
Still
back
wearing the mask. Under the mask.
Remember when Clayface was him for a bit, but it wasn't Clayface?
Dude, Clayface is everyone in this.
Right.
I know, just assume it's Clayface. Can we talk about, kind of on the same lines of Jason Todd, the surgically healed Two-Face, who's also in this?
Yeah. I'm assuming more happens with that in future stories.
Being as like this is part of like the Batman canon, like it's funny that like that was done in what the Dark Knight Returns.
Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, Dark Knight Returns, and then it's just in this again. Like it's not new material, and it's not like shocking. Like oh, he healed himself like he did like 20 years ago or whatever. Like
that was the future.
that's right.
True. That was the 80s future.
Yep.
Which was 2002.
Yeah, that was kind of a weird wrinkle that they threw in there, and it was another like red herring. Like, is he Hush? Because I think by the end of one of the issues, you're like, oh, it is Harvey Dent's Hush. He's not.
No. It's Clayface.
I thought it was Jason Todd.
Oh, shit. It turned
It's
into
Jason Todd as Clayface. Came out of a bog. Alright, so hold on. Full spoilers. Does anybody remember who is Hush in this? Because I just completely had a mind wipe. And I'm like, wait, who actually is Hush by the end of this?
Clayface.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Tommy Elliott.
Tommy Elliott is Hush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I watched the Hush animated movie not too long ago, too. And in that, it's the Riddler.
Oh, wait, no, you're right. So,
But it is Tommy Elliott.
It is
in this.
Tommy Elliott.
until you realize the Riddler's all behind, because it's...
The Riddler's behind everything.
Yeah, but I guess Hush the person is Thomas Elliott.
Right. In the cartoon, it's the Riddler himself is Hush.
I
Which is
think
dumb.
that's what it is in the book.
But-
The last issue goes off the rails.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so... I'll just say, this is not one of my favorite Batman reads.
Same.
I think it looks great, I think it's fun, but I think, like a lot of Jeph Loeb stuff, the wheels fall off by the end. And I thought that the first time I read it, way, way back, and I've always had that kind of, like, bad taste in my mouth from it, so I was like, let's do it for the show. I'm gonna give it a fresh look. Reading it, enjoying it, I'm like, alright, maybe I was too hard on it. By the end, I was like, oh yeah, that's the kicker. That's what made me think that. I think, like, yeah, it just kind of falls apart.
Yeah, I agree. I think every time I go back and revisit it, I like it less.
Yeah.
And it's good. I like it up until, like, maybe 3/4 of the way through when they start really... It's not even, I think, like, clever. Like, misdirects.
No.
At least, I guess after you know the outcome, it's like, oh.
Once it starts getting into the who's who, all
And
of that,
everyone's Clayface.
and everyone's fucking Clayface, and then like, of all people, the Riddler's behind it, and you're like, this fucking dude sucks. Man. Like, why is the Riddler behind it?
Yeah.
Who is the mechanic that gets killed and
What's
suddenly
his name?
it's like...
Harvey or something?
Oh my god.
It starts with an H.
Oh, Harvey. Oh my god. What am I going to do without Harvey? And it's like...
Harold.
Is it? No, I don't think it's Harold either.
Hank.
No. It does start with an H,
Clayface.
though. Hogarth.
It's he's from a previous...
Fuck,
That's the first one.
He's from a previous continuity where he used to work for the Penguin or something like that, and he's a mute guy, and so Batman invites him in to work for him and do like all of his like tech work or mechanic work or
You
whatever.
speak to machines, just not to humans.
Yeah, and he's like, well, secret's safe with him because he can't talk for shit. And then Tommy Elliott gets his hands on him, gets rid of his hunchback, and gives him his voice back. And then I guess he just like says all of his shit, like, yeah, I guess I've been working for Bruce Wayne. I mean, Batman. Or whatever. What's his name?
Clayface.
I knew it! Damn it!
No, it's Harold.
Harold.
Harold
Okay.
Clayface.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be this big emotional gut punch. And I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
Like, and I know Batman more than some pleb off the streets.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
That is, like,
that's your big final act
I
moment.
forgot
like,
about him in this too, and I'm like,
who?
what?
Is he funny?
A quick,
Yeah.
a quick wiki
Yeah.
showed. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, all right. I'll just put that in my back here. I'll remember that.
So
never.
it's meaningless.
Yeah, but if it is Hush is the only thing you've read, you get to that and you're like, oh, this guy I've never met can talk now. Awesome!
Oh, but now he's dead.
Oh, and then he got
He was
shot.
shot. He was shot by Hush.
Yeah. Or he
Or
was shot by
Clayface.
Clayface. I don't know.
But it is, we find out Riddler's kind of put all the grand designs in motion, right?
Yeah.
Just to basically show, like, look at me. Aren't I so clever?
Yeah.
I'm the Riddler.
Right. I guess I don't even really understand his motives, the Riddler. I mean, maybe it's a riddle to me, and I haven't figured it out yet. But, so, the
Jeph
Riddler in
Loeb
this...
operating on a completely different level.
The Riddler in this has a brain tumor or something to that effect.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets hold of Thomas Elliott to fix him.
Mm-hmm.
But in doing so, like, gets him to be a...
He gets.
I don't know.
No, well,
what
he
is he
no,
getting
he
out of
found
it?
he either found or they put him in a Lazarus pit.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yes.
They put the Riddler in the Lazarus Pit?
I think so.
Yeah, to cure his tumor? Because, what, Thomas Elliot couldn't do it or something?
I'm not entirely
the
sure.
details on
But
that.
that's why
Not much
he
of a brain
that's why he
surgeon.
went mad, I guess. But he's pretty regular Riddler, if you ask me. Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff with Rachel Gould in this too. That's just like,
Oh.
somebody poisoned my Lazarus Pit. Fight me with a sword again.
Poison my water hole.
yeah. This is like,
But
shut
yeah, you
up.
do get the sword fight in the
Yeah.
desert, which is pretty great.
Yeah.
Wish Batman would have stripped down.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we got a shirtless
Take
Oz.
what you get. Yeah.
So anyway, there's a moment of clarity or whatever at the end where, like, Batman's final, like, gotcha and stick the knife in you or whatever. It's like, Riddler's like, I know who you are. And then Batman's like, but then it's no fun anymore. What? That's the Riddler.
Yeah.
And then it's... I don't like that. Because he's like, oh, I guess you're right. I'll just keep being a bitch over here.
yeah.
Batman should have just fucking killed him right there. Pulled out his Saturday Night Special from year 2 and just delivered cold justice.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Hush.
Clayface.
Yeah, it's always Clayface.
Anything else about Hush you want to dive into?
Trying to think if there's any other big moments. You know, it's got your Joker, it's got your Harley. They all make an appearance. Catwoman and Batman strike up a relationship in this, where I guess, like, for the first time, they're like, we're an item.
Yeah, we're gonna do
And
that.
then she makes the mistake of saying the word hush, and he's like, why did you say that? And just fucking freaks out at
she's
the
like,
end.
oh, you're a fucking weirdo.
You are
I'm leaving.
insane.
Yeah.
Why did you say that name?
Oh my god. There are some, what I will say as a good positive note, like, all the Robin stuff, and outside of Clayface / Jason Todd anyway, the stuff with Tim Drake and Nightwing, I think is really good. There are some inner monologue things that Batman's saying. They go out and he talks about the difference between Tim and Dick and Jason and all of these guys, and it's actually really well said. Mm-hmm. Like, it's really cool how he talks about, like, oh, Tim was this way, and this is why he's good. He's like the detective. He's so good, and Dick was so graceful in this, and he's like, that's all really well done and well
Jason
said.
was uncircumcised, and it's really all I could think about.
Yeah. I think that's when Jeph Loeb is at his strongest. It's like doing those kind of moments,
Character pieces.
like when he does like all the.
Has
color
anyone told him
series.
he's not that great at a mystery? For being all he writes, they all kind of fucking fall apart at the end. I enjoyed the ride, but, like, I can't think of any of them where I'm like, that fucking had a killer ending. Like, they all just, like, so I think I get it, but, like, it's not good.
Yeah.
And, like, maybe I'm getting it wrong, but any of these options, like, none of them really tie it all together in a way that it should.
Yeah, it doesn't ever feel like.
Yeah.
What a great ending.
I feel like the only way... yeah. And you can't do a good Who's Who ending if you put Clayface as everybody. We're going to keep coming back to fucking Clayface because he's just the worst red herring ever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Also, Tommy Elliott didn't die in this. It was Clayface.
Oh,
He doesn't die in it because there's another Hush book after this.
Mm-hmm.
I think Paul Dini writes it.
Mm-hmm. Which I hear is actually pretty
I've
good.
heard that too. I've heard a lot of Paul Dini's Batman work is good. There's like an omnibus that I was tempted to buy.
Oh?
Yeah. Let's see what Business Manager thinks. See if I can slip it by. But, yeah, I think he's kind of a cool character. The Hush, he's got a cool look and everything. I don't mind the surgeon backstory, and I believe in the future ones he plastic surgeries himself to look like Bruce Wayne.
yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Was that
Sure.
originally in the Arkham games, or was that in book canon?
I think it was in the book.
I think it was in book first because I know, in the Arkham games he does.
Because that's
he
what
is
I.
Bruce Wayne.
Going back to revisit this, I was waiting for that to be a plot point, and it never was in this. And I'm like, oh, where does that happen at? It's
Not
just
this.
not here.
Must have been Clayface.
Oh shoot!
All right.
Yeah.
So is that Hush?
That's Hush.
Is that all we have to say about Hush? Not quite. This is Ghost Hunter Dave coming to you from the future of when this was recorded. There was just one more thing that I remembered about this book that I wanted to comment on, and we completely forgot it when we were talking. Blame the alcohol, I guess. Hush's origin as Tommy Elliot, the fact that he holds a grudge against Bruce and Bruce's father because of what happened to his own parents. And that is, they get in a car accident, and Bruce's dad, Thomas Wayne, is only able to save Tommy Elliot's mother. His father dies in the accident. And while the whole story, Bruce thinks Tommy is mad about that for letting his father die, he's actually angry that Bruce's dad let his mother live. And it turns out he's just an awful child from a very ripe young age. And he had this master plan to kill his parents by severing their brake line and inherit their fortune. He even says, "You have no idea how lucky you were to be an orphan, Bruce." And he had to sit around and wait for his mom to die of cancer, pretending to be the good son. So this is just almost unbelievably sinister for a small child. Just wanted to throw that out there, that it was a very ridiculous ending to an already kind of convoluted story. I think that's it. That's all I got. Oh, one other thing. Isn't it weird in the newest Batman movie how much the Riddler looks like Hush? With a couple little sprinklings of Hush thrown into the movie too, on like some of the photos, old newspaper clippings, the fact that his deceased father was a journalist with the last name Elliot. And, I mean, just the whole look of him. He doesn't look like the Riddler in the movie. He looks quite a bit like Hush. So I always thought there was going to be this other shoe to drop there, but if it turned out anything like it does in the comic, then I think maybe we're better off not making that connection. But just another kind of interesting point that I wanted to throw in there. Okay, let's end the show, guys. I'm done with this.
That's Hush.
That's Hush.
We hushed it up pretty good.
We did.
Oof.
A lot of energy there at the beginning. Mm-hmm. Glad you brought it down a couple decibels.
I waned a few.
Yeah, just like the book.
So that's Hush,
That's
everybody.
Hush.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know what you thought about it in the comments section below.
What'd you think about it in 2002? What do you think about it now?
Mm-hmm.
That's a question.
Sick of Clayface?
Fuck. Yeah.
Is everyone Clayface? Let us know.
If I can be honest, I actually really enjoy Clayface. I like him as a villain. I don't think he gets enough playtime. He just pops in, does a little Clayface song and dance, and then he's out of there.
Yeah.
I want a whole Clayface book.
I gotta say,
I want a whole One Bad Day Clayface.
it's true. I gotta say, Clayface.
One Bad Clay.
One bad. That's good. I gotta say, Clayface held up mighty well in that rain in the end of this book. It was raining all at the end, and he was there as standing, and he was just probably like
Until.
I'd like to thank the patrons who make this show all possible. Thanks for your generous donations to the channel. Also, if you're into it, we've got merch at redbubble.com.
yeah, we do.
If you're into that, if you like to have these mugs on a coaster or a throw pillow,
Or a
it's
mug.
something you can do.
And if and if you're a patron member for certain tier levels, we have this wonderful IMPERIUS REX coloring and activity book.
oh my god.
Got so many things.
Spare no expense.
IMPERIUS REX bingo card. You can create your own IMPERIUS REX spinny wheel,
Yeah.
write obligations, and ignore the outcome entirely, just like we do. Oh, Troy under a post.
Oh my
all
God.
kinds of wonderful things.
Yeah.
So that's all there. Links in the description.
Yep.
That's going to be the show. Glad you dipped back in for this little trip into Batyear. A little dip back into it.
We're in it.
But until we talk more bats, I have been Troy to the Max Extreme.
I've been Clayface.
Oh shit!
And I've also
I
been
knew
Clay.
it! God damn it! And we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Put my beer.
I don't know.
Hey.
Maybe he drank it all.
Check with Clayface.
What's that one? Oh, God. What is that one?
It's a Valkyrie Hero Hazy IPA.
Oh, is that good? I've never had that.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
All right.
You want to try it?
Nah.
Okay.
Right in your fucking teeth.